Why retirement calculators can give you false confidence. In 2004, there's award-winning Nobel Prize winner William Sharpe. He set out to solve what he felt was the hardest or nastiest problem in finance. Not predicting the stock market, not building the perfect portfolio, but something rather a little bit more personal, which is actually decumulation, which in layman's terms just means how to simply spend your assets without running out of money or dying with too much left over at the end of the day. To find this answer, Mr. Sharpe, he built a open source tool which is called the Retirement Income Scenario Explorer. This could simulate over 1,000 different simulations as possible outcomes. It would factor in things like market returns or life expectancy, and then also spending patterns. To make it simple, it was brilliant. But guess what? It never caught on. You might ask me, well, why didn't it catch on? Well, it was too messy, too complex, and then it was too real. Many people tend to stick with simpler tools. Retirement calculations that just ask, what is your age? What is your income? What is your retirement date? Then it spits out a graph and a number. They make retirement look like a tidy formula. But in this video, I'm going to explain why these calculators give you a false sense of confidence, and then also about what they're missing out on could make or break your retirement future. So let's dive in. So number one, the false promise. Many retirement calculators ask a few basic questions: your age, your savings, your retirement date. Then they spit out a magic number that just implies that you're all set. But are you? Not quite. There's been a study done by Texas Tech University. They examined 36 popular retirement calculators. The results were dangerously misleading. Many of these gave users a false sense of security, claiming a 70% chance of probability of making retirement. In reality, the truth is they were probably closer to like a 53% of being able to sustain retirement. That's nearly kind of tossing a coin in the air and hoping that it's heads or tails. Think about it. How does a calculator account for real life? Like a couple living in two separate homes, or someone who downsizes mid-retirement, or a retiree that travels for 5 years and then tightens their belt. It doesn't. It can't. This is the reason why I say most calculators sell an illusion of precision, an overly neat picture of a very messy reality. And that illusion, it can shatter that moment that life veers off script. Moving on to number two, the tax dilemma. Consider Jane. She's age 72, and she's sitting on $5 million in her traditional 401k. So on paper, it looks like she is more than ready for retirement. But then the tax surprises start rolling in. Her first required minimum distribution, $188,000 plus. That distribution alone launches her into a 24% tax bracket. Throw in her pension, now she's in the 32% tax bracket. Her Social Security benefits, they're partially taxed now. Her Medicare premiums, they're increasing. Many retirement calculators don't factor in things like taxes on withdrawals, required minimum distributions, or Medicare surcharges. Number three, spending surprises. Michael Stein's book, The Prosperous Retirement, describes 3 different phases during retirement. The first phase is the go-go years from ages 65 through 75. Retirees spend heavily on traveling, dining out, and other hobbies. Next, we have the slow-go years, ages 75 to 85. Spending declines as retirees become less active. And then we have the no-go years, ages 85 plus. Discretionary spending drops significantly, but the healthcare costs start to rise. Calculators assume that you're spending the same amount beginning of retirement all the way through the end of retirement, and maybe 70 to 85% of your pre-retirement income. But this isn't how it works. And then number 4, market timing nightmares. Consider Dave. He retired in 2007. He had $500,000 and a pension. His plan, he was going to travel the world. Then in 2008, his portfolio dipped by over 30%. Suddenly, he was back at his old desk. I'd be lucky to take a trip every 3 years, he said. Calculators use an average return, but you can't spend an average. If the market crashes earlier in retirement, like it did for David, you sell more assets to pay for your trips or whatever it is at the absolute rock bottom prices. This can absolutely devastate your savings. Not all calculators show this type of danger. Number 5, the healthcare dilemma. I was reading a story online that really stuck with me. A woman had shared online what had happened to her 81-year-old father. This was a man that had done everything right, according to her. He had Medicare, he had a supplement to his Medicare, he had saved for retirement, but after suffering a stroke, everything had changed for him. He was then moved to a nursing home, and that's where the bills started to pile up. The first bill is just under $8,000 a month. Over the next 10 months, his total topped over $80,000, draining all of the modest couple's retirement savings. The family was stunned. They thought Medicare was going to cover it, but it didn't. What they and potentially other pre-retirees and retirees thought is that Medicare covers long-term care. It doesn't. And they weren't alone. The nursing home staff says that they have to break this news to retirees basically every day. Many retirement calculators assume Medicare and they move on. They don't add any additional health care expenses. They ignore long-term care entirely. They don't account for policy caps, hospital stays, or financial shock for chronic illness. So, with that said, one medical event can undo years worth of saving, no matter what the calculator says. Number 6, the unknowns. The unknowns are things that can reshape your life in ways that you never imagined. No one predicted that COVID-19 would turn the world upside down, or that the 2008 financial crisis would wipe out decades of retirees' savings. What about divorce after retirement? Suddenly, everything that you saved for is now split into two? Or the growing number of retirees supporting adult children, financially, emotionally, or even taking them back in. Then there's inflation. It's not a straight line. It fluctuates, often unpredictably. And when it spikes, your money buys a lot less than what you had planned for it. And goals, they change too. You might want to go back to school. You might want to move closer to a family member, help a grandchild, or start something new entirely. Many calculators assume that your spending stays exactly from ages 60 to 90. No surprises, no pivots, no curveballs. So what can you do instead? First, you can run multiple scenarios. Use the Social Security Office Administration projected numbers. Second, budget your dreams. This could be travel, this could be hobbies, grandkids, not a flat percentage. Third, plan for taxes and healthcare. Finally, talk to a financial advisor. They will stress test your financial plan against disasters like 2008. Retirement calculators, they're just a starting point. Don't let a false sense of confidence be your downfall. Plan deeper. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like and consider subscribing for more content just like this.